have to wait for my Twitch thing to show up. I should probably also, while I'm doing that, put my phone on the charger.
Oh, Twitch,
So that it
where are
doesn't
you?
die 6 hours in like it did last time.
What, your controller?
No, my phone.
Oh.
But I don't think it'll take quite as long as it did yesterday. Seeing as how I know how to
Alright.
do what I need to this time. Plus, I'm awake. Like yesterday, I was coming in and I had played, Huel. What the fuck?
That's what I was
Oh,
talking
it's
about,
your
just in case you want to check it out at some point.
it's your food stuff,
Yeah.
shitty food stuff. Try to get me in on this health shit, man. I'm unhealthy as is, and I'd like to keep it that way.
See, I'm like trying to reach peak physique again, so well, maybe not peak, but you know, better than what I'm sitting at. Because I want to do a lot of things, and there's only so many things Bag of Bones can do. So,
Okay, and we're on the dashboard, which means we are officially live.
yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers what happened yesterday, but I mean, that's pretty much what's going to happen today. We're going back into the Path of Pain, ladies and gents, and seeing if I can fucking beat it this time. And I went ahead and did the courtesy of respecking my loadout. Do I want quick focus? Yeah, I might as well.
Q&J coming at you live at an hour past 5.
An hour passed. That was actually really smooth. Good job, Smooth McGroove. Fucking Slim Shady over here. But yeah.
I won't have a Kamikaze album though. I'm not that malicious.
What? Oh wait, no.
You don't know
no,
about the Kamikaze album?
Oh yeah, I know about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got confused for a second because I forgot where I was going.
Oh.
Right. Over here. I was like, I don't remember that bug being there.
You find the secret wall and then forget about the secret wall.
Well, I got into the secret wall like hour 2 of the stream of yesterday's
Yeah,
stream,
this is true.
and seeing how long we were in it yesterday. Ah, fuck. Okay, so anyways, what were we saying? What were we talking about?
Well, if we want to be brutally honest, we're like comparing nutritional powders before this, but I doubt that anybody wants to hear about that.
We're on the internet. Nobody cares about health.
Yeah, this is very true. Unless you're like in California or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, are Californian people really like that health sensitive, or is that just like the stereotype?
I believe that's the stereotype. I've never been to California myself, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've been there to, you know, go to Disneyland, and that was about it. So,
I've never even been to Disneyland.
what? I'm trying to remember what year that even was. Would have been like,
It was whenever you were like 10 years old, so it'd be like 2001, 2002.
yeah, it's totally in 1995. No, I think it's
fuck.
like, yeah, like 2009 maybe.
It's been so long since I've been in this part, I forgot where all the fucking pratfalls and traps are.
You have the basic memory. It's just getting it down to muscle memory again.
It's remembering what's ahead more than anything. Because a lot of the shit
Yeah.
just comes out of fucking nowhere.
This is very true. Once again, we could do well with a camera zoom out.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's part of the way that they tried to make the difficulty in this stage is by making a lot of things out of sight. And yeah, it works to an extent, But at that point, it's less of trial and error and more of just like straight up memorization and memorizing where you need to go and at what point.
Okay.
Right.
Gotta
I'm not
tease
supposed
it.
to. I'm not supposed to dash there. I jump.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, and we're going up. And there's the saw blade. 2, jump, jump, jump.
You know, this is the sort of game that I would love to see, like, you know, the, pardon my reference to SAO, but the SAO Nerve Gear in.
Ugh.
Do like legit platforming instead of just, you know, button presses.
I don't know. I mean, like, that always sounds cool, but you know in reality, whenever it comes to any of us actually going out and doing this kind of shit, not very many people who sit online and play video games for a living actually go outdoors and do, like, sports shit.
Well, yeah, but at this point it's just mental strain. None of it's, you know, physical or anything. It's not like, you know, what I'm thinking of isn't like, you know, PlayStation VR or anything of that sort.
Oh, you're thinking more PlayStation VR, you're not thinking augmented reality?
I'm thinking like I said, like just flat out nerve gear where, you know, your mind is the controller. 100% theoretical, but you know.
Now, see, it's shit like that that cause people to start getting into comas and dying. And you wouldn't know about that because you saw the shitty version of Dot Hack, known as Sword Art Online.
I mean, there was a version of that where, you know, everybody's just like decaying in hospital beds, but you know.
Fucking knockback. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Sword Art. I think, as far as I know, it's because the story is a lot worse. I've never seen an episode myself, but
Yeah.
I've heard what a lot of people have said, and me being a fan of Dot Hack, I do find it's a bit of an insult that they essentially took the exact same idea and put a new skin of paint on it.
I can understand that. It's like, hey, look at our completely original idea. That's not at all what it is.
Yep. Everything you just said about that statement is wrong.
Yeah. Which mean, okay, in my opinion, SAO is good until, like, the first half of the first season is SAO, and then after that they switch over to what's called Alfheim Online. That's where it all goes to shit, in my opinion, just because,
Alfheim Online?
yeah, they, like, introduce, like, the first game that they're in is just, like, you know, sword arts and that's it. The second game they go in introduces, like, the flying mechanic and spells and, you know, transmutation and all, basically the magic slash mage aspect of RPGs and everything they introduce into the game. And it just, like, if they would have gone and actually, like, made a better story with the sword arts by themselves, I feel like it would have been a lot better instead of trying to introduce all these new game mechanics and basically, you know, having the same stakes.
I'm just sitting here.
Actually,
trying to
there's
think
not even.
what kind of MMO wouldn't have magic in it.
Yeah. The first, from what I remember, like you could infuse swords with magic and everything, but you know, there was no like anything close to spell casting or anything.
That's
Which actually, now that I
shit.
think about it, the once they go into Alfheim, they're like, yes, Asuna is in peril. The love interest of your protagonist is in peril, but she's the only one. Like, there's no lockout coma anymore. It's just everybody's playing online, and Asuna's locked in a cage, quite literally.
For some reason, she's been captured. Nobody really knows why, neither does anybody really care.
Yeah, it's implied that like the new admin has like the hots for her and wants to marry her in real life and all this jazz, and that's his kind of fantasy realm with her. But at the same time, it's like, there are a lot better ways to go about that.
I see what you're trying to do with this story, but don't. It doesn't work
Yeah.
with these kinds of with these kinds of game stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, there's no hardware continuity, I guess you could say, either, because like there's one scene whenever in Alfheim, whenever Asuna's in a cage and she, basically watches him type in the code to her cage, and then she uses that to get out later on. It's like, why do you need a physical manifestation of, the lock whenever you're the admin? You're basically the god of this world. You don't have to have a fucking keypad sitting there.
Because everything exists in the mind and you have to use cognitive abilities. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Deus
I
Ex
don't know.
Machina, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I say, whenever I say that I like SAO, I completely refer to like the first season and the first season alone. But well, I say that, but I've only watched it like twice. I've never revisited it either. But at the same time, if I revisit something, it's,
Because it's
I
good.
especially enjoy something. Yeah, I'd never revisit things. So if I'm coming back, you did a good job.
Did something right. Yeah, I don't know. I revisit things occasionally, but if I do, it's usually like years in between, mostly because I don't remember what happened in the story before.
That is a good way to do things. Like, I do that especially with books. I'll like read one and then 5 years later come back to it because I'm like, hey, I only remember like the overall structure of this book. I remember nothing about like the personal interactions and everything. Let's dive back in,
Mm-hmm. Ah, fuck me. Oh well. I'm progressing
It
a lot
also
faster than I
depends on
was
the-
yesterday.
Yeah, this is very true.
Anyways, you were saying?
Oh, I was going to go on a little bit of tangent. It's like rereadability also depends on the size of the book, because like I've read Stephen King's It before, and like that that book is like 1,300 pages long. So as much as I would like to go back to it, it's going to be like decades before I do, just because it is so long and such a time sink. Like, it took 7 months for me to read that book, so.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, I'm a slow reader, which I know I've read for like years on years, but I don't know. I just like savor books too much, I guess.
That's okay. I used to be a slow reader too, and then I found out what books actually could do. So.
I don't know. Like, everybody has this preconception that, if you read a lot, you must be like a fast reader because you do it all the time. It's like,
Not
as much as I would
necessarily.
like to.
It's all about the story, man. It's like there's some books that I can tear through in like a matter of hours, even if they're like a couple hundred pages, and then there's some books that I'll read for like weeks, and they'll be like maybe a couple hundred pages.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Uh,
Like nonfiction is a different story too, because like, you're there for the information, so most of the time I can just kind of skim for facts and somewhat speed read, not really speed read, but get the general gist of the paragraphs without, them being, oh, my cousin back in 1958 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Basically, those
really,
I can remove the fluff a bit.
I've never really been much of a fan of nonfiction, unless it's like textbooks, like biology textbooks. I'm not really too terribly into nonfiction.
Yeah. Trust me, it has to be a subject I'm at least somewhat engaged in, like you're saying, but I know you've told me this before, but why do you have such a fascination with biology?
I don't really know. I started out whenever I was a really little kid. I used to love to read. And one of the things that I loved to read was a lot of animal books, like facts about animals and shit. And then as I got older, I just slowly switched over to like studying the human body, shit like that. I mean, I don't know where the transition came, but
It was just a sudden interest and you took it.
mm-hmm.
I understand that.
It's that. The fact that it closes in right there is what's getting me.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, look at all these wide open spaces.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's more
Now
of
it's
the
a
fact
closed
that
hallway.
it's like I've got a buzzsaw on one side and I've got a roof on the other.
Roof of spikes, nonetheless.
Nope, this roof doesn't have spikes.
Oh, I thought this one did. Well, never mind.
Was this the room of death, or was the other room the room of death? No, the other room was the room of death. This one is just the prelude to the room of death.
Give me 1 second.
Sure thing. Ah, fuck me.
Sorry about that. I had a little special delivery.
No, you're fine.
I was about to ask if you had ever been to Fazoli's, but I took you to Fazoli's once, so.
At least one point in time you did, yeah. I fucking miss Mexican food, man. I miss good Mexican food.
Yeah. I doubt they have anything of worth up that far up north.
Not really. No.
Because I have some family up in Nebraska, and I mean, the Mexican joints are alright, but it's not Tex-Mex by any means, that's for sure as hell.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
It's one of those things, I can eat the hot sauce up there, so you know it's weak sauce if that's the case.
Yep. Whenever the white man can guzzle it down, you know it ain't Texas.
Yep. Just tomato paste up there.
Ah, fuck. I was saving that, too. I was saving that so hard. I mean, you saw that shit, right?
Yeah. You're good, good.
Fuck. It's a
Gonna stop
grind to
complimenting you.
get back to that one area.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't give you checkpoints. No, they couldn't give you benches. They had to give you this shit.
I mean, they kind of have checkpoints, but they're very far between.
I don't know. I just don't like the fact that you literally have one shot at the mini boss fight. Because if you die there, it resets you all the way back.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. You died to the bosses and then you're sitting at the bench. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's all coming together.
Yep.
Call it Path of Pain for a reason.
Fuck.
Just realized your stream title too, Pain and Pleasure.
Yep. One man's pain is another man's pleasure. There we go. Bam.
Nice.
Didn't take me nearly as long as it did last time.
Nope.
Hello again. How are you? You remember me?
Hello, darkness.
I'm back, bitches. We're already off to a good start. Fuck. Jump, dash.
It's okay. I brought coffee tonight, so.
So you'll be a little bit more awake.
Yeah. I do that quite a bit before streams and everything. I'll give myself a cup of coffee because I know I'll be sitting for a while, and I don't know, like, if I'm, you know, here actually like playing a game with y'all, I'm alright, but you know, just sitting watching something always kind of, you know, puts me out a bit, so.
Oh, trust me, I know.
That's why you are such a gamer, right?
Yep. Didn't hold that jump as long as I should have. If I can just figure out that pattern in particular, I'd be much easier off. That way too long.
You know, you have too many items of tech around you whenever something beeps and you don't know which one it was.
Was it this one? No, it was the other one.
Yep.
Oh god, can you imagine what the pain of this game if you had to fight those things while bouncing on them?
What, like the beetles that you bounce on, or like?
The mini boss. The mini boss had
Oh.
if they were both sitting on
Yeah.
like one perfect segment of a platform, and then the rest of the area around them was nothing but spikes, and they just spammed their projectiles at you.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sitting here and I was like, how can I make this harder on myself? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's how.
Bring the bosses up a bit. Having a lot of fun then.
Yep. Make the bosses just a little bit harder. Well, not that I really stood much of a chance whenever I came in at that point.
How many lives did you even have? Because I like blanked out at that point, and I just see you on the bench afterwards.
I had 3.
3. Eh. So not only do you have to reserve lives for the last part of this trek, you have to reserve them, period, for those bosses.
Yep. So what I think I might do from now on is just keep myself at full,
Mm-hmm.
and then heal up every time I die.
Yeah, that could work.
also why my timing's somewhat off now.
Hmm.
I don't have the Mark of Pride on, so I don't have that extra length.
Oh.
I was like, I remember being able to do this pretty consistently. What's going on?
Dash length has changed.
Yep. And I'm too far to really care to change it back. I can do this.
Like, we're invested now.
Yep. Well, it took us, what, 2 hours to get here last time?
Sounds about right.
Took us 2 hours to get here last time, and I made it in less than 30 minutes. Phew. Da fuck. What do you think about platforming segments like this?
Like of this difficulty?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, are you a fan of level design? Or do you really study it much?
I haven't really, like, put any time into studying it, no, but, like, I don't know, like, there should be hard options to games like this, and I am glad that there is such a trial run, but it's like, I don't know, I almost don't want parts of this to be, like, you know, considered 100%ing the game, just because you have to reach such a high skill ceiling to get past these.
Yeah.
But I guess that's better than, you know, it just handing everything to you. There will be like a immense sense of accomplishment once you're done with this.
Oh yeah. My dick will be the biggest it's been in years. Too high up. Oh well. So, do me a favor real quick, because now I'm curious. Go on to Google or whatever and look up iron rules, or look up like level design rules. Or like code of level design. So now I'm curious if anybody's ever actually like written down like a specific code. Or if there's like an article talking about some of the iron rules of level design, unspoken.
This actually seems very. Oh, they made like a format for it and everything, but there is a PDF that it immediately pulls up. The Golden Rules of Level Design.
Ooh.
By Lewis Kennedy.
Read it. I want to know.
Let's see. So, Golden Rule number 1. You're not the player. Let's see. The most important key thing you should remember when building a level, you are not the audience. You are building the level for other people. You need to think about whom this is aimed for and what you want them to experience. You need to pair the game design and its rules with your intended market and think carefully about the environment and the level's pacing and atmosphere. Should the levels be short but still fulfill many aspects of the game design needs, or do they need to teach the player something? In which case, you may need to constrain the designs used and, let's see, the path the player can take. Whatever you do, do not assume the role of the player when you are designing your levels.
Alright.
Not the player.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kind of like, you're the game dev, don't expect everybody to, know exactly what you know. They may need a little push and prod here. Don't just, make it too open or too confined. And if you're making
Go ahead.
I was just about to say, if you're making a game for, a younger audience, don't, put, 100% skill checks throughout the game, too.
Oh, dude, Dark Souls Barney Edition? That'd be fucking great.
I'm sure there's some mod out there that would satisfy that for you.
Well, no, I mean like a game that's designed to be marketed towards kids, but is bone-crushingly hard.
I would love to see that. I don't know how, well it would sell or anything, but...
Oh, it would sell like ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I panicked. I panicked and got scared. Alright,
Unless they turn Fortnite into a skill-based game, then, I'm sorry. I just like to shit on Fortnite.
Everybody likes to shit on Fortnite.
Oh, speaking of difficulty, golden rule number 2. It's too hard. Or what I like to call 50% off. Take whatever you've done so far, jumps, platforming, puzzles, enemies, amount of difficulty, and make them all 50% easier. You have to give the player a chance. When you play your level, you are God within his own kingdom. You know every nook and cranny, you know where every enemy is coming from and what is telling them to do so. You know why, because you told them all why. Players who start your map for the first time are likely to die within the first 30 seconds if you have not thought about this very important rule. Just remember, 50% off. That makes
That's
sense.
an interesting rule. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand it, but at the same time, it's like... I don't know if I agree with it, in all honesty.
I don't know about 50%. That seems like a little bit excessive, but, I'm sure every game that you make, you have to scale it down like it says, because you do know every single aspect of the game. Not everybody's going to know that. But at the same time, you are going to figure that out within hours, you know what I mean?
All it takes is
Playtime and experience is the best teacher.
Well, the issue is that it's a fine line. It's kind of like a Goldilocks thing, because you gotta make it hard enough to keep them interested, and the people who actually want to know how to play the game will learn how to play it. But at the same time, if you make it too difficult, there'll be the demographic of people that'll actually be masochistic enough to actually do it will be minuscule at best.
I don't know. Instead of cutting it in half, it should probably be more of an ease in. Your first few levels are the easiest, and then it just progressively gets harder, maybe.
What the message that he's trying to put across is not take out half of the enemies you have, take out half of the platforming and all that. What he's trying to convey is don't make it as difficult as it is, or find a sweet spot, essentially.
Okay. See, in this next one, I'm not sure I'm gonna like it just from the title, but golden rule number 3, do not teach with death. This guy's never played Dark Souls.
Well, you gotta remember that the guys who created Dark Souls literally broke the very first rule. Out the gate. Because the way that they built the game was, we want to build a game that we enjoy, not necessarily the players. And that's exactly what they did.
That makes a lot of sense. But anyways, do not teach with death. This is an evil, evil thing that games so often do. Tomb Raider, Prince of Persia, and many FPS games are guilty of this.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Let's see. It's okay if the player dies because he makes a mistake, as long as he knows why and was given fair warning or some indication that he could make a mistake. If, for example, the player is walking across a tiny beam and there is a big drop, the player has had his warning. He saw the drop. If he falls now, it's his own fault. However, if the player was to come across the same tiny beam without at first seeing the drop and or the beam itself, it becomes unfair. In this situation, the player's chances are the player is going to plummet to his death, and although he is now aware of the hazard, should he be penalized for what is really an error in level design? Let's see, this can be easily thwarted by simple use of some lighting and or simple texture to show difference between where the crossing beam is and where the holes are. Better yet, remove the hole of death altogether and put it somewhere more friendly and obvious. A good example of where Tomb Raider did manage to teach the player properly was with its falling floors. They give you a chance to notice they are breaking and allow the player a chance to get the hell out of there. From then on, it's up to the player to notice these types of floors and following levels.
This entire segment just breaks that rule to pieces.
Mm-hmm. It's like, give your players forewarning. You can't see past it.
Yep. And the reason why you can't see past it is because you literally can't look down in these particular segments.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even with this segment right here, you have I mean, I can kind of hover on this and take a look at what's coming next. But there's no way of knowing what comes next after that spike in front of these three ones that jut up here. Because since it's rising up, you have to go past it to be able to get any further. I mean, it's difficult level design, and yes, you have to figure it out. It's a lot of trial and error, which would get written down by a lot of people as unfair level design. But to me, it's just like one of these things where it's learning by death. And I mean, to me, I don't necessarily find it as that bad of a thing, but then again, you saw what I did yesterday. I'm not exactly your typical player.
This is very true. Well, and like, this game in particular, I can give props to, because this is, you know, we're what, like 30 hours in before you could even think about touching this place, you know what I mean? It's not like, you know, oh, first level, there's a door to your left, and, you know, that's the fuck train, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I guess it's also, it's good game design for them, because the way that they did this place is that you don't have to get anything crucial from this particular segment. So, I mean, if you're a casual player, you don't even have to worry about this place at all.
Yeah.
But if you're someone like me, and you have to know every secret once you find it, it is very necessary.
It's gonna make you pay for it.
It's gonna make you work for it. But there's nothing like crucial to the game locked behind this segment. It's literally partially just bragging rights, and partially just because I want to see what's over here because I'm curious as shit.
Yeah,
I believe in the high risk, high reward thing whenever it comes to video games. So it's like if it's difficult to get to, what it had better be worth it.
Yeah, I understand that. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep. Looking at you, Horizon. Looking at you.
Let's see, what's next?
Kingdom Hearts.
Golden rule number 4. Try not to lead. Okay. Wherever possible, I feel it is much better to try and entice the player to his destination. The player should not feel like he is being pushed around the level. This will remove the atmosphere and immersion for the player. You want to try and persuade the player with which route to take, while leaving him the option to wander elsewhere if he so wishes, even if it is the wrong direction. This makes the player feel like he's making the decisions, not the level designer. It's okay if the player is occasionally a little lost. Let's see. is that essentially the player is the donkey and you have the carrots, but the stick with which you are holding the carrot should be extendable and retractable, should swing and occasionally go completely invisible, but only briefly. Okay. A bad example I recently noticed of level design constantly pushing the player was Call of Duty 2. Good lord, how old is this article? There are only a few times during that game that I felt like I was really the person making the level advance. It always felt like the level was happening around me, which to some extent helped me in creating that frantic feel of war. However, even some of the gunfights felt that if you weren't gunning in the right places at the right times, the way the designers had intended, you were very often already screwed. That to me is bad design. It shouldn't be one way or the highway. Player adaptation, curiosity, and error should always be considered. Yeah. I can completely agree with, oh, you're at the boss fight.
Yep.
Oh.
And I'm dead.
Well, damn it.
Oh well. And we start again. But yeah,
Hey, at least you're making it all the way through now.
Yep. That particular thing that they're talking about right there is called the funnel. What a lot of people call it. Because it's literally like if you pour something into a funnel, what does it do?
Well, it, confines itself and
goes down the funnel.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that kind of level design is something that you would see in a lot of kids games, but in games where like actual people are playing them, it's something that you generally want to stay away from, because if take Final Fantasy 13 for example. A lot of people just call it Final Fantasy hallways, because basically what you would do is the entire gist of the game is I walked down a hallway and watched a cutscene, and then I walked down another hallway, fought a boss, and then watched another cutscene. That pretty much sums up the entirety of that game.
Okay.
So, and it's universally canned by pretty much everybody, except for people who are like big fans.
Die-hard Final Fantasy fans.
Yep. Or apologists, one of the two.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think Call of Duty is a really good example for him, because, like, I don't know, have you ever played any, like, the Call of Duty or Battlefield games?
I remember very vaguely playing one of them, but I don't know which one it was.
Yeah. Let's see, I did Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. I think those are like I think I did the first Modern Warfare 2, if I remember right. So basically the only ones I've done are the Modern Warfare series, but that is one thing Call of Duty is bad about, is like wherever you're in campaign, like there is one track and one track alone. Like, I don't know, it is very confined. Like there's off spaces where you can find, your enemy intel and various like little collectibles throughout the game, but the only ones that really even fuck with those are achievement hunters, trophy hunters, all that jazz, people that want to 100% the game. But, if you're just playing it casually,
any benefit for going the extra mile.
like all you have to do to complete stuff is be able to go down this track and not die. Shoot at these 30, 40 guys, do this special like cutscene action and, cutscene. So.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, Call of Duty is more of a game that you play for the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, this is true.
So it makes sense that they wouldn't really incorporate much of a story in their story mode. But at the same time, it still isn't excusable. If they have a single player campaign that you can go through, then they have to make it worth something. It's kind of like what they did with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it's the only one, aside from the newest one that came out, that actually has a story mode to it. And the reason why you play the story mode is to unlock the characters. And they benefit you because if you go out of your way and look for extra things to do in that story mode, you unlock some of the more like harder to find characters. Like there's some base story characters that you can unlock by doing certain things, and then there's other ones that you have to go back into the levels to find.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whew.
Now you kind of make me want to play Smash Bros. Because that sounds like a really good iteration of it.
It's platforming. It's mostly just platforming. The person who made the guy behind making Smash Brothers is the guy who's behind his name is Masahiro Sakurai, and he was responsible for making all of the Kirby games.
Okay.
So he tends to lean towards like easier to play games.
Mm-hmm.
So like the platforming for Smash Brothers isn't necessarily difficult, but the storyline is kind of lackluster. But I mean, it still exists, and it's still pretty damn decent, if I do say so.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, sorry, I'm like coping with my allergies over here.
Ah, you're fine.
Let's see. So, golden rule number 5: make the player feel smart. These titles are interesting, that's for sure. Make him feel that he is accomplishing things as often as possible. They don't have to be big things. This could have a lot to do with the difficulty ramp. As the player reaches each new section, it gets a little tougher, but because of what the player learned in the previous sections, he is better equipped to deal with it. If he can do it without dying, then this is an accomplishment. Make secret areas, but don't make them too secret. When the player finds them, it will give him a buzz. Distribute weapons, ammo, and items sensibly. The player shouldn't feel too scared to move because he only has one bullet left and the room just around the corner is full of ammo, but also surrounded by enemies. This guy has never played a Resident Evil game. A great technique is to slowly increase the difficulty and then have a section where the player gets swarmed by weaker enemies. This should allow the player to totally kick ass. Complete player satisfaction. But this is not just about enemies. Make sure the player always has something to do and is aware of his goals and objectives at all times. He needs tasks. Get the player to find an item or place to use an item he has already found. The smaller and more often the player gets to complete these things, the more immersed, involved, and rewarded he will feel. I feel like that's almost catering to an audience.
It's catering to the general gaming audience as a whole. People like us who do like the harder versions of games like Dark Souls, Ninja Gaiden, Hollow Knight. It's catering to literal casual players, and that's not an insult. It's just like the casual kinds of players.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also like a broad generalization because you can't in like a list of like 10 or 15 rules say specifically these 15 things are what's going to make gamers the happiest whenever it comes to them playing their games. Otherwise, every game would be following these rules and every single one of them would be making money. But it's more of like guidelines.
Guidelines instead of saying that everything has to follow these rules and, you know, anything that excludes these is a bad game.
Mm-hmm. It's like take Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight has had some moments in it, like the Path of Pain, that it has broken like a couple of those rules. But at the same time, it's still a really good game, and I still think that this is a really good segment that, despite it giving some of the unfair issues with the platforming, it's still like a really good segment. But even though it breaks those rules, so these are more like guidelines. If you want to take like the super safe way of designing your levels, you don't really want to take too many risks, follow these rules. But if not,
so it's a code for the safe way. Let's see. So golden rule number 6: interaction is interesting. Okay, so pushing a crate into a hole to create a little bridge in a corridor is neither original nor super exciting. However, it does break an otherwise plain and uneventful corridor into an interactive event for the player. This means he has more to do than just pressing forward on his controller, which can't be a bad thing. Whenever you can try and get the cerebral juices flowing. Interesting turn of phrase. Obviously, in some games, the design is simple to create a visceral, non-stop brawling mess, but generally speaking, most games ask more of the player, or at least should. Then aim, shoot, and reload. Let's see. Interaction is also a great way of slowing down the pace of the level before you swarm the player with beasties. Anything from finding a switch to lower drawbridge to the classic, although archaic, Resident Evil key system is a great way to break pace and ask the player to stop and think, even if it is a little laterally at times. Okay. Not entirely sure I'm familiar with the key system in Resident Evil. Do you know what that's referring to at all?
It's basically like they lock major parts of the game out behind keys.
Ah, I gotcha.
And to progress, you literally have to search the entirety of the house looking for specific keys.
Hmm.
It's like, you know that that YouTube channel that I told you about, Super Gaming Brothers?
Yeah.
They did a lot of the Silent Hill games. Somebody hasn't been doing their research.
Not on them. I haven't gotten around to them just yet.
But yeah, Resident Evil is what a lot of people would consider one of the more classic RPG puzzle game sort of game or action puzzle games.
Okay.
So a lot of the base rules that are set in this game are in future games are based a lot around like what Resident Evil did to make their puzzles interesting, while at the same time tweaking some of the things that they did that were lackluster at best.
Okay. You know, reading through these, I can see like one of the, or a couple of the ways that I didn't like Final Fantasy XIV, since that's like your regular MMORPG, because like, yes, you interact with a lot of stuff, but like, pretty much going back to the try not to lead, and also interaction is interesting. Like, one thing I could not stand about that game is like, go talk to this dude, go talk to this dude, and like, even the boss battles to me, like, I know I didn't get super far into it, but it just felt like the same 4 or 5 key presses over and over, and there wasn't much like walking around and actually doing things.
Being 100% honest, man, it doesn't get much better after that.
Yeah.
Like, unlike, you think a lot more like me than you do Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell just by the way that you play a lot of the different games that we've played.
Mm-hmm.
But and Crimson enjoys those games for a very specific reason that I will get back to you. Damn it. He enjoys the games because of the methodology behind them, not necessarily because of the gameplay itself.
It's more the inner workings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whereas you and I play games because of like what we can do with them.
Yeah, what we can see and what we can interact with.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The reason I didn't enjoy the game was because I just found it flat out boring. Even the boss fights in the dungeons and stuff were pretty mundane. Like there wasn't really much wasn't really much way to like be spontaneous or different with what you did. You either did it perfectly or you died.
Mm-hmm. That was one thing that I just realized that it didn't have much of, is like, whenever you do die, you just go back home. Like, yes, it's gonna be a bitch of a walk to get back there, but there's not really any repercussions.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's better than some of the repercussions they had in earlier MMOs, where it was like you lose
like
all
what?
of your items.
Oh, damn.
All of your items and equipment.
Yeah, that would be a little bit worse.
So I say, considering what it could be, it's the lesser of the two evils.
Hmm. Gotcha. Let's see. Here we go. Golden rule number 7. Be original. This covers two... Yeah. Thought that was kind of given, but we'll roll with it.
You'd be surprised.
This covers two things, really. Yeah. The first is about other games. Please try not to simply add something that worked from one game level and place it in your own. It's good to be inspired, but try and imagine what more you could do with it. Or better still, ask what it is they're doing that works so well. Find the roots of its design, and you can easily branch away from it. Now, armed with a similar concept, you can find an original idea in design. The second part of being original is aimed more towards mappers. Please, for the love of God, don't try and build your house, school, village, or anything in that vein as a level. No one else will get it, and it's highly unlikely to translate into good level design. Unless you're willing to say, I'm going to build my house, but as a level, then don't bother. If you do it this way, at least you are taking the concept of your house and filling it with good level design while ignoring the fundamentally makes it your house. You could always add little details like pictures from the walls or your couch. This way you still create the feel of your house, but with level design as its more important components.
You know what
I'm sorry, but
Go ahead.
I'm just thinking that would be like if I was a game designer, I do not want anybody to have any clue as to what my house looks like or what I have sitting around. I would have no desire to do such things, but...
Well, I mean, it's part of that thing of, like, making the world yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot of people that would do stuff like that, in certain games. Like, take, I think it was Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal? It's like the second or third one. There was a secret room that you could get to that was basically Naughty Dog Labs, or Naughty Dog, it was a cutout of the office that they worked in at the time. And inside of it was filled with nothing but chickens. Because that's what they thought of themselves as.
Yeah.
But it's things like that, and then there's like, I can't remember the name of the game. But there was one where they had the guy's house just like randomly hidden inside of the game, or inside of like a segment that went through like a suburban neighborhood.
Huh.
So it's like little things like that.
Yeah, I could see you doing that, like especially like design offices where it's more or less an Easter egg of the company or something.
Mm-hmm. And we're back. Fuck.
Let's see. So rule number 8: if it's not fun, fuck it.
I like that philosophy.
Yeah. This is a message. Wait, this is a message to your pride. You came up with a great idea for your level. You loved it when you wrote it down. You've been building it for a month and it's nearly finished. But when you play it, the idea isn't quite as cool as you had first imagined. Or maybe it has a small section that causes a little imbalance. If so, cut it. Don't be proud. Know where the flaws lie and don't be afraid to snip it. I think that's true with anything creative.
You know what they should do? They should go back in time and tell that rule to the first person who created ice physics in platforming games.
Or for you, bounce mechanics.
I do. I'm doing better with bounce mechanics nowadays. Now that I've played Hollow Knight.
You're getting a lot better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can sympathize with the ice stuff though, like especially what Mario games I've played with ice levels and everything. Well, in Mario's case, the fucking water levels. I have not like spoken to a single person that actually loves the water levels or anything.
it's a physics gimmick. It's like, I mean, I can understand why they do that because I want to break up the monotony of, you know, like exactly how fast and everything Mario runs, but at the same time, like, there really wasn't anywhere else they could go with it unless they literally just made an entire level dedicated to making Mario move slower for no reason. So water, ice, and those kinds of things, it does make sense, especially if they wanted to put him in different environments rather than just being in like Green Hill Zone all the time. But I mean, I think the place where I hate water levels the most is in Sonic.
Yeah, especially since you can suffocate under them too.
Yep. It's like Mario can breathe underwater, Sonic can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I kid you not. For like the first 4 or 5 times I ever played a Sonic game, I could never get past, I think it's called like the chemical plant or something, solely because I could never, you know, deal with the water.
That's, you think that's bad? You should have played the first Sonic game where, I mean, like, Chemical Plant is what, the second zone in it?
Yeah, second zone.
You should have played Labyrinth Zone. That was pretty much pure nothing but water. Back in the original Sonic game. And there were, like, little pockets of air where you could come up and breathe, but... it was a pain to get through.
It only helps so much. Let's see, golden rule number 9. But if it ain't broke. You know the saying, and you know what I mean. Know when it's done, and let your baby go. I know you could spend another week tweaking the enemies and the weapons, maybe even moving around a few corners to see what works best. Why? You've done it 100 times already. Let it go. Move on to your next map. The next map you make will be even better. Don't get stuck in a rut. Those last two are definitely...
That's more of a dev thing than it is a gameplay aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, these last two are more like... I feel to apply to creative arts in general, because like, whether it's, you know, recording music, writing your book, making a painting, you could sit there for millennia tweaking it until you think it's just perfect. But, you know, a work of art is never going to be 100% perfect. Let's see. Yeah, and then golden rule number 10 is just how to enjoy it, and it's basically kind of going over the same thing, kind of more of a dev aspect, you know, saying sometimes it's labor, but, you know, you should enjoy making games and all this, you know, stuff or other. Okay, so this was made back in 2010.
That's almost 10 years ago now. Think about that.
Yeah.
2010 was almost 10 years ago.
That's one thing I love to think about is whenever I was like in 5th grade and they, you know, would call us the class of 2016 or whatever, I'm like, man, 2016 seems like ages from now. And now it's like 2018. I'm like, interesting.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I know
almost
I'm
drinking
getting
age.
old.
I don't know. Like, I don't find, like, especially once I hit drinking age, I really don't find any relevance in age outside of a doctor's office, you know? It's more or less just gaining wisdom along the path, and that's about it.
Either that
or
or
at least
scaring
one
the
can
shit
hope.
out of kids. You can't do this to me,
Hey,
I'm 25 years old! Fuck you!
I already do that with my teeth. What are you talking about? Oh, I kid you not. Like, you know, the whole thing with me is I don't have the teeth that we have in front of our canines, I never developed adult teeth there, so I'm just stuck with my baby teeth right there for the rest of my life. So it makes me look like my canines are enlarged. So, kind of a shorter story. I went to Gaddy's one time with a few of my high school friends. I kid you not, I scared the shit out of this kid because we were putting, tickets into those ticket eaters and everything, and he just kept staring at me all wide-eyed. I don't know what he was thinking. I didn't talk to him or anything, but he just kept staring at me, and he would not let me leave his side. I was like, I have terrified a child today.
He thought he found a vampire.
Pretty much, yeah.
See,
Well, my second story, that's what that goes with, is I was working at Target at the time, and it was this mom and her two little kids, and it was around Halloween time, so I can get it a little bit more, but it's kind of funny because she was like, hey, where's, this, and this, and, I pointed them over to it. I get back to my stocking and everything. They come back around, and she, actually it was the little girl that came around first, and she comes up to me and she's like, sir, are you a vampire? just kind of laughed at it, and, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was just like, no, sweetheart, I'm just, it's just how I am. And the mom kind of looks around the corner. What's up?
Whenever kids ask me questions like that, I always just embrace it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a kid. He'll get older and he'll understand whenever he's older, but for now, might as well make him a little bit happy.
Yeah. If I wasn't so, caught off guard by that question, I totally would have been shh, you're not supposed to tell anybody. But at the same time, I didn't want to, piss her mother off and have her thinking vampires are real for the next week or some shit,
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
I don't know how we got from level design to me talking about my teeth, but, that's a thing.
Could always clip it and find out.
Yeah. That's one thing I would love to. I don't know. I may do that with a couple streams. Is I would like to make a mind map of how conversations kind of ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we started talking about game mechanics, then we started talking about aspects of our physicality, and then we started talking about the lunar landing and shit, and just see the random categories that they pair off into.
Mm-hmm. Well, it might be fun to look up. Sort of stay on topic. Look up the bosses we fought up until now, and look up lore on them.
Let's see. I want you to know, we've been in this White Palace so long that my autocorrect doesn't bring me to the wiki anymore. It brings me to White Palace.
Wow.
There sure are a lot of merchants in here. A lot that I've never seen. I half wonder if some of these are DLC merchants.
I fucked that up. I fucked that up. I.
Oh, you haven't even gotten to that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's the cartographer? I want to know more about him. Cornifer. There we go. I don't know why I love the character so much, but I
He's a
absolutely
map
love.
maker.
Yeah. Perhaps that's it. Oh, he has an asleep animation. That is adorable.
We saw it. Like a while back.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, that's really cute. When Conifer was first Cornifer, why do I keep calling him Conifer? When Cornifer was first hatched, he wandered off right away, leaving his siblings and his mother behind. He later moved to Dartmouth with Zelda as soon as he could. An adventurer from birth.
Now the question is, was he found by his mother?
That's a very good question. Not too much lore on him, just mainly his dialogue. Let's see.
That's still a nice little tidbit. What's it say
Yeah.
about his wife?
Let me see. They're like in a whole different collection since he's considered a wanderer, and then, you know, of course, she's considered a merchant since she just sits at the surface.
Takamanda.
Oh, that's kind of cute too. She used to carry a weapon, which she put down because she was happier with a quiet life with Cornifer. Even though she has always declined to join Cornifer in his adventures, she is thinking about possibly accepting his offer next time. Oh.
Wait, she put down
Wait.
a weapon. So she was a warrior at some point.
Apparently so. Let's see. Okay, I'm like gonna look other places, see if I can find anything about her. Unless that's just like a little tidbit that somebody just shoved into the wiki. Surely not. Let's see.
I highly doubt it. But then again, there are a bunch of people in here who have like minor stories, but don't like have fully expanded lore on them.
Yeah, this is very true. Oh my god. Reddit. Why? There's a Reddit thread that's called "Is Zelda is one sexy bug?"
Yep, because Reddit.
Oh my god. Yeah, all this is giving me is like overall lore of the game.
No, 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 no! You stay away from that.
Yeah, I am.
I don't want us spoiling the story. I have a very good feeling we're on the right track. And I don't want to either be confirmed or denied until...
Until it comes up for yourself.
Yep.
I understand that. Let's see. What do we have on Hornet? Let's see. Oh.
Hmm.
I don't know if this is... I don't believe it is. Hornet is said by the White Lady to be a result of dalliance. Do you know what dalliance means?
No.
Well, according to the wiki at least, I apologize if this isn't the real
You have the entirety of the
definition,
internet at your fingertips. If you don't know what it means, look it up.
Okay, define... dalliance.
I apologize if I don't know what this means. He says with a literal thesaurus in front of him.
I do have a sword sitting over here. Hey, I'll do it that way. Do it the old-fashioned way. Where is
I
it?
better hear those pages flipping.
Okay, dictionary. Do I really not have a sword? I'll go to a dictionary. Let's see. So D. Okay. Patras. Here's you some book ASMR here.
That sounds less like. That sounds more like you're shaking like a bottle with beads in it.
I had a feeling that wouldn't translate well, but you know.
You tried. That's the important thing. Fuck.
Let's see, dalliance. Okay, so apparently my 1950s dictionaries are a little censored, I guess you could say, because the definition I get for it here is a trifling away of time, and second definition is amorous toying or flirtation, while Google just flat out says a casual romantic or sexual relationship.
They're fucking.
Okay. So apparently, let's see, Hornet is said by the White Lady to be a result of dalliance, so hooking up between the Pale King and Hera, whom he offered to have a child with as a bargain for her becoming a dreamer. So she's like some sort of child of gods, I guess you could say.
Huh.
Well, who the hell is Hera? Did I just like spoil the character?
I don't think we've seen. She's one of the dreamers, so we've seen her.
Let's see. Oh, she's the beast. Okay.
Let's see.
Did we not get all three dreamers? No, I guess we didn't. We still had her left. Who are you trying to find?
Her.
Oh. Oh, I didn't realize they showed up in the Hunter's Journal.
I don't think they do, but I'm gonna take a look anyways. Nope. But yeah, we've gotten all the dreamers.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I wasn't far off, too. That dictionary is actually published in 1952. Kind of wonder if that is the thing. They just kind of put it in lighter terms because it was written in the 50s.
I can guarantee you that's what it was, because people have slowly but surely become less and less conservative with their speech.
Yeah, this is very true. see, who else do we have here? Oh, hey, we can move on to your favorite Korra.
Round 2, motherfuckers! Ow.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the fight.
Oh my god.
You just got comboed into oblivion.
Yep. I'm gonna need something. I know I have a bestiary on them, so let me find out what their name is real quick. So that maybe you can look up the damage on them. Or what their King's Mold. Look up their health, because I might just turn into a glass cannon mage build.
It's like 270, I believe.
My nail does what?
Nope, 170.
170.
I assume that's a piece too.
Yep. So the question is, how can I get rid of 240 health the quickest way?
Well, good thing is that's their only moveset is the swipe and the boomerang, so... They say the old king died long ago, but his influence echoes around us still. A creature like that, what did he desire? Well, the good thing about King's Molds is apparently wherever you face them out in the, rest of the world, they don't respawn, period.
That makes sense. Alright. Round 3, fuckers. This is becoming tedious. Like, I wish there was a faster way to get there.
Yeah, there should be, I wish there was a spawn point, right before that.
Mm-hmm.
At least the boss fight.
Yeah, but, ugh.
So what did you say this was, round 3?
Yep.
Yep. And here again, we see Jay and his infinite patience.
Yep. At this point, it's not how much patience I have, it's how much patience does the audience have. Because I get the feeling if we actually did have people come in, they wouldn't be here watching this anymore. which sucks because I really do want what's over there.
Mm-hmm.
But and I want to be able to experience it on stream.
Well, maybe third time's a charm, you know?
Maybe. I just need to be a little bit more strategic whenever I get up there, or whenever I get over there. Right, there's still more after that. There we go. Like, even if they just, like, put a bench here, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. You know, I really do wonder what was going through their minds building this part of the game.
Huh.
Huh.
I'll take it.
Yeah. No questions asked here.
They wanted to give you something, or they wanted to do something brutally hard. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't know why I did that.
You are getting quicker at this, that much is for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I always used to tell the people I trained, don't worry about going fast at first. Speed comes with experience.
Yeah, this is very true. Training what? Games in general?
Every job I've ever had.
Oh, yeah, this is very true.
Yeah, you forget I work for a living.
Well, no, you use the same terminology for wherever you quote unquote train people for Smite and games like that, so I didn't know if you meant something in that regard.
Ah.
Your little save point you got there.
Yep.
See, not the only one that breaks games. I'd say that because first couple weeks that we were playing 76, or first log on with Crimson and everything breaks. He's like, "This is just you, Dio. This never happened with Jay. It's just you."
It knows you
Then
like
everything
to
started to
take
break.
games.
Yeah.
Why is this segment getting so hard for me now?
I don't know. What you thinking?
I'm just trying again. Like, this shouldn't be as difficult as I'm making it.
Hmm.
There we go.
Well, You okay with that? Are you like looking up good builds for this or something?
Nah, I'm just thinking.
Mhm. So close, but yet so far.
Fuck you, Fallen.
There we go.
Hello? I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and I'm gonna let you take the scene in.
Okay.
Also, clip that last run I did. Right up till the fuck you fallen part. That way I can upload it to YouTube and show him.
Smear it in his face.
Actually, you know what? I'm saving that play myself. That way I can.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Tag him in it. Fuck him.
Oh.
All right. That chapter of my life was long, arduous, and painful. Oh, save. And let's see what goes on here. Interesting.
Into the Twilight Zone. Oh. There's more, eh?
Oh no, this is back at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So what did that do? What did that give me? Don't tell me I missed it.
Let's see. I don't think there's any way to miss it. Let's see.
Because I'm positive I didn't obtain something. Unless I just didn't walk far enough right and grab it.
White Palace. Okay, so the Path of Pain is now inaccessible. The yeah, I guess that was just for bragging rights.
Alright. The way you worded it, it sounded like there was something more in it, but no.
I remember reading, let's see. Okay, I read somewhere that there was supposed to be like a cutscene and everything with that, but I don't know if it considered that to be a cutscene. Oh, okay. I was expecting something a lot more grandeur.
Alright. So now
Well,
with that
now that
chapter
you've
out of
done
our
that,
lives, now
yeah.
complete the rest of this. What's up?
Oh, you're bouncing on the elevator. Gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
Pretty much. Ugh.
Now the rest of this game should be easy peasy.
I say as I die multiple times.
Yeah.
This should be easy. It's just memorizing the layout.
Yeah, now it's just pure memorization.
How'd you like the Path of Pain?
It's very painful to watch, but you know.
What'd you think of that
I'm
last
glad-
run?
It's pretty decent. Not too bad. I mean, it was, you know, the run that made you finish it, so.
Yep. Oh, those are thorns. Okay.
Like I say, after doing that, you should have, like, you know, no problems with the rest of this.
Yeah.
You've hit the utmost of achievement.
I wonder if that actually
Besides
is the
finishing the game.
hardest part in the game.
I wonder,
And if it isn't,
because, like,
what
surely
is?
the last boss fight is not going to be that hard.
Duh. Don't catch chickens before they hatch, mate.
Yeah. I know it totally could be, but, you know.
Well, I feel better anyways.
Now that you've finally gotten it out of the way.
Yep. Ow.
Yeah. After all that, I expected like a whole, you know, almost like the intro cutscene or something, but you know, so much for that.
Well, it is DLC. Oh, it counted me as being here.
Hey, there you go.
Wait a second. No, I can't. Damn it. What's up? You missed it, brother.
Oh,
I
got a
beat
nice
that
little
area.
note for you and everything.
Phew. Okay. So what's next? Well, the rest of this game isn't going to be nearly as hard as that last segment was.
At least we hope.
I am not doing that right at all. Need to space myself properly. You know what I need? I need Dashmaster back, because that's what's fucking with me.
Yeah. Imagine that would help quite a bit.
Yeah. You want in on the party, or you want to just stay as a chatter?
Chatter. Yeah, alright.
Alright. It's literally
Okay
just
with
memorizing
demoting you from falling to just chat.
Yeah. Alright. Fuck, I'm party leader.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name again?
You
Too
don't have to
Extreme?
give me a chance. Because I always, like, name the parties and everything, get everything set up right, and you're just like, party invite.
Well, I see you online. Where is he? Where is he? Why, do I not have him on my friends list?
And that you blocked him.
I don't block people unless it's for a very good reason.
Yeah, I feel that.
There he is. Ugh. There we go. And we go back and heal.
You know, I just glanced at. I thought he was like, "Oh, piss off." It's like, okay, I don't know what we said.
It's very easy to piss him off. Oh, come on. There we go.
Piss off. You know, the way we talk, I don't think it's possible for anybody to be quick to anger.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, this is true. Free speech for the dumb, as the Metallica song goes.
There we go. Yeah, all I needed was Dash Master to get... Oh. I didn't even see those. They blended in with the background perfectly.
You didn't know this game had a camouflage aspect.
Bam. Ugh. Compared to the stuff that was in the Hall of Pain, this is easy. Or Path of Pain, whatever you want to call it. The only difference is that I can't infinite heal. Bam. Easy peasy. Now where the hell do I
Lemon
go from
squeezy.
here? Ugh.
You keep going up, I assume?
Ugh. Disgusting. Aw, I can't go up that way. Damn it. I wonder if I can shortcut my way through here. Nope.
They're all into your dirty tricks.
They think of shit that I would think of, which is kind of bad for me, but good on them.
Yeah. Jay the game dev here.
Jay the game breaker.
You know, I would like to see what sort of game you would make.
I'd make a porn game.
I
Strictly
mean,
because
I'm
I
not
could.
surprised. I'm not surprised.
Nobody is. Trust me. Nobody is. What about here? Ah. Ah.
Kind of missing that infa heal, don't you?
No, it's more of just trying to figure out exactly what the fuck they're expecting me to do there.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine if Hat in Time was like this.
We would not have finished Hat in Time. I can tell you that much. uh,
Well, we would have had to do a new playthrough with me playing instead of you.
yeah. Like, hey Jay, take this from me.
Much more comfortable knowing that it's in my baby hands.
Baby hands? What the hell's that supposed to mean?
My baby hands. I have small hands. What do you think that means?
I don't know. You had like soft hands? I don't know.
No, that's just called having soft hands.
Yeah, this is true.
I would much rather have gotten hit by that spike than land on something. Okay. I really hope they're not asking me to do what I think they're asking me to do, because that is just...
Wall climb around that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we are, buddy.
Haha! I found a way to cheese the system!
There you go. The double jump putting in work.
That spike jump putting in work.
Yeah, that too.
Ugh. There we go. Ugh. I love this game. I honestly do. Like, it's
Okay.
kept me more occupied than any other game I've played so far.
Yeah, this is very true.
And like 90% of the challenge that I put, or that's been in this game, is challenges I put on myself.
Yeah, this is very true. You do appreciate a good challenge. I know that much about you.
Oy. Let's just respec. Mulligan! Ugh, lost way too much health in that first segment. You know what? It doesn't look like there's any healing areas here. So you know what I'm gonna do?
Hmm.
I'm gonna give myself some more life.
Alright.
Now that's a life bar.
That's not a life. That's a life.
Fuck. Managed to jump up at the perfect moment every time. Do you think you could beat this game, Fallen?
You know, I feel like
Oh.
that's gonna be.
Took off
What's up?
Dash Master, that's what happened.
Oh,
I was like, why isn't my dash charging up as fast as it usually does? That's okay. I didn't need my dash after all.
uh,
I mean, did you see that bullshit?
mm-hmm. You know, I feel like that's maybe not my ultimate New Year's resolution, but like a subset of it is I want to like either play this game all the way through or like one of the Soulsborne games all the way through, just like an 100% skill-based game. I want to like 100% before the year's over, just so I can say I've done something, you know, like non-story related. You know?
What are you talking about, next year?
Yeah, like 2019. Yeah, I'm making a New Year's resolution for 2018. A little late to the party, but you know.
We could give you Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden?
Yep. It's harder than Dark Souls.
Oh, okay, it's a game title. I thought you were like trying to describe some holiday or something to me. I was like, what the fuck is this? Ninja Gaiden, huh? Let's take a look, shall we? Let's see. Gaiden, there we go. Huh. Somehow I've never come across this.
What? Oh. Oh.
Huh.
Ah. Just a little bit too far. Yes? I take it that wasn't directed
Okay.
at us then, huh?
Wrong tab. Sure.
Sure.
What I'd be saying too.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what I'd say too, but we all know that's not. We all know that's not true.
No. You'd say something more like sugar tits or something.
Nah, I'd probably say something like donut puncher.
Double puncher. I mean, I have evidence of that, so.
Aw, Crimson telling secrets on me? There we go. Oh, I need to be at like the very edge of this. Eh. Oy.
Oy vey.
Ugh. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. That's way too high. Nope, that was actually just right. Fuck. That looks about right. What the fuck? There's no way through that.
Trying to think.
No, because I'm looking at how close the spikes are together whenever they come up and down, and no, there is. They go up too, or they come out too. The top ones come out too fast, and the bottom ones come out or retract too slow.
Hmm.
So what are you supposed to do? 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try a little bit farther back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was a little bit too far. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little bit too. Not far enough. Okay. Progress. Because there's like just enough of a gap for you to dash through.
Mm-hmm. You may just have to keep dashing and dashing.
Nah, you have to dash a set distance through it.
Hmm.
And it's getting the starting position right. That I have to work on. only lost 1 tick of health that time. I'm getting better.
There you go.
Stand at the very edge of this. Dash and jump, and bam! We threw that pot too. Oh.
Nice.
Didn't die though.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting maybe right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it, so it's right here. Alright. No worries, Fallen.
Yeah. It's somewhere around time to end anyways.
2, 3, 1. Okay, that's a little bit too far forward. Maybe right here. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Yeah! Alright!
Nice.
I don't trust this. I don't trust it. Oh. Oh, good lord. Oh, that is so shit. Oh.
Is it just like a bottomless pit you fall into? Oh no, you gotta. Okay.
You gotta stop and retime.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it one more shot and then we'll call it.
Okay.
I'm so used to using those spikes as platforms. I don't know what to do whenever they're actually there to kill me.
It's like I'm supposed to hit these, right?
Like, seriously, it's gotten to that point where, like, my first instinct whenever I see these spikes is like, okay, I need to jump off these.
It's beautiful.
Go. what's up, Tidril? Yeah, it's Tidril again. What's up, man? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I can't believe I made that. How you doing, man?
At this point, you can make anything.
It's getting the timing down for that. That's difficult. Okay. Haha! Fuck you! Alright!
Very nice.
That's not the bench.
Saucier.
Oy.
Eh,
Now that I
I'm
actually
working
want to
Christmas,
feel-
so I can't do much.
I'm probably gonna stream Christmas myself. Cause... okay, so what
What if
good
I'll get off in time for that?
fucking benefit did this do?
Just open the gate right in front of you. That's it. So how about yourself, Tidril? Going to any Christmas parties or anything of that manner?
Ugh.
You know, that's one thing I hate about working evenings. I'm going to be working 5 to 10 on Christmas, so unless you're doing like a late night stream for Christmas.
I'll probably see if I can boot in like Crimson or something to help me.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck.
Hey, in my opinion, that's the best way to be spending Christmas, that's for sure. Just
I don't
chilling
know.
with family.
I wouldn't mind being at home alone on Christmas.
Yeah, that's decent too. That's what I did whenever I was, working as a forklift driver, but
Mm-hmm. It's lonely.
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep. People aren't here. Time to take off my pants.
That's one thing I never understood is like I am always fully dressed whenever I'm at home. Like I don't get the satisfaction of
What the
Partial
fuck is
nudity.
wrong with you people? Like, I am naked 100% of the time whenever I'm at my house, unless I know I have guests coming over.
Mm-hmm. Because we're civilized individuals.
And?
I don't know. It's just good to be civilized, Be part of the civilized world where we wear clothes. Drink some scotch. Yeah.
He's not old enough
That's
to
what I'll be
drink.
doing next Christmas. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing next Christmas, but not this one.
He's the little babby of our group.
Yeah. It's good that way most of the time, though.
Bam. Okay, so Dio,
Yo.
if fuck, what the shit? Oh, I've got an idea.
Hmm.
Fuck. Well, it was working. To an extent, it was working. I just have to position myself right.
Well, I'm right on the dot of 20. I'm like 20 and a half. I don't know. What are you, Jay? Like late 60s? Is that right?
Somewhere in the 80s.
Hmm. Alright. Well, it's good knowing you, pal. Probably gonna have a heart attack after this game, but you know.
Probably. Where the fuck did they... Oh, they want me to go over there. Do they?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
so.
another reason that my parts of this stream are like story-based games is because like
You have
I haven't
bad
really
heart
done
condition?
gaming until I got out on my own. No, not the heart attack thing, but I didn't really game until I got out on my own, so I have like limited to no experience in things, as has been stated before.
Yeah. Oh man, you should have seen his platforming skills on fucking on Hat in Time. They were horrendous. It's like I'm glad I was the one to take the helm on Hollow Knight because I know if we were having Dio do it 30 hours into the game, we might have gotten through Fungal Waste by now.
It's it would have been much more painful. That's that much is for sure.
Oh, don't even get me started on pain. You would not. It would have taken you months to complete the fucking Path of Pain.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to get to that part at this very moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be... Which I'm actually going to edit that video and post it on Tumblr and Facebook tomorrow, so... Or Tumblr. Fucking YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, you finally going through it?
Of me going through it that last run.
Yeah. Reason we say that took him like 8 hours just to do that, even
It
with
wasn't
his
8.
skill.
It was probably 6.
There was 5 yesterday, and then 2 today, so 7.
Still. Would have taken you
You'll
8
take whatever
that
trims you
without
can.
Nah. I was just thinking like on that last segment alone. I wasn't thinking the entirety of the Path of Pain.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking last night and tonight.
But after beating that, I can beat pretty much everything else in here pretty easy. I just have to know what to do. That's the biggest thing about that is just like knowing what you're supposed to do in each segment of the platforming.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will say is probably like starting to get very, very annoying to me. Just the fact that you have to essentially fail to know where to go.
Yeah. Like we were saying last night, this has definitely turned into Super Meat Boy to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
Platformer extraordinaire. You know, that's one thing I find interesting, that I play one platformer and then we play like 3 platformers in a row, like besides Observer, but...
No, this is the second platformer.
I'm
Oh,
saying
wait, no,
between
we
the
played
both
Mega
of us,
Man.
because... Yeah, I played A Hat in Time, you played Mega Man, I played Observer, and then you're in Hollow Knight, so...
Well, I didn't expect Hollow Knight to be as platformy as it is. I expected it.
Yeah.
They called it 2D Dark Souls, so I was like, okay, well it's gonna be challenging, but it's also gonna be a lot of. I didn't mean to do that. Poor guys. But it's also gonna be like punishing boss fights and shit. That's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like Super Meat Boy bullshit.
Yeah.
Alright, see you later, Fallen. Take it easy, man.
Maybe. Blessings of the moon upon your journey.
And it starts me way the hell back down here. I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to follow to do that puzzle, but fuck it.
Matters not how you do it, it matters that it's done.
Oh, come on! It didn't let me wall grab. There we go. Ah! I got way too close that time. Oh god! Whew. Hey. This is a fucking cakewalk. Compared to some of the shit I've been up against. Fuck you. Ugh.
It's always that last bit that is your undoing.
Yep. Got way too close that time. Ugh. Alright, well, you know what? We got past a whole bunch of shit, we got ourselves a new rest spot, and we beat the Path of Pain. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. And that's totally not because I want to play Orcs Must Die.